How's it going, everybody? Well, it's Carpo. It's almost August 2015, and as the summer comes and I move through the season, I remember to make a video each year, at least a couple of videos about gratitude, but also a couple of videos or messages of tolerance. And each year I feel like I grow a little bit more to understanding people, what makes people tick, what pisses people off, ways to keep in a conversation without, finding myself poking or prodding somebody else, or trying to, get back at them because they're being harsh, or the very petty things that we grow up with as kids that are hard to break away from as we get older, such as defending our points of view, those kind of things. And I'll still do it, of course. I always defend my point of view if I find that it's important. And I think that's one of the messages I wanted to pass on here, was just, if a discussion is important and it's worth talking about, and it's a message that you believe needs to be heard, and you feel strongly about it, then there's nothing wrong with arguing. From the times of Aristotle, argument has been the method by which society decides who wins in a particular discussion. This is why we have debates. Debates are healthy forms of argument that allow us to vocalize how we feel. And so that's a great thing that the internet has brought forth. And by doing that, a lot of intolerance has arose from the fact of being able to express ourselves more freely. Because people can, they're no longer sheltered or hidden from every different type of culture, religion, belief, and idea. And my message that I like to try to express to people, the one that is important, and this goes beyond race, this goes beyond religion. This isn't about, and that's why I started off with talking about those things, because those aren't what I'm talking about in this particular message, in this video. It's remembering each individual person is different. Even within your own group, if you're a group of white guys talking shit about a group of black guys, let's say, I'm just using extreme versions of metaphors, there's more likely, if there's, 10 white guys sitting around talking shit about a group of 10 black guys, then let's just say that there's probably at least one white guy in that group who relates more with one of the black guys in that group. Even from different cultures, different, sides of the world, if the two people were to sit down and see what they're really like and what their personalities, their value systems would be very similar, perhaps. My point in that is that under the skin, behind the belief systems, behind what we've been programmed to say, think, believe, what we programmed ourselves to say, think, and believe, and what we look like, whether we're a male or a female. I mean, look at all the feminism right now. I mean, it's just ludicrous. And it's not just feminism, it's the men's too, the men's movements, and GTOW and whatnot. I just steer clear of all of it, because it's nonsense. This has gone on for a long time. This has historically been just like racial tension, and just like religious tension. It's sexual tension, having to do with, things that are important, because people are political by nature, they're sexual by nature, and they're experimental by nature. They want to try things, which is why the whole drugs, sex, rock and roll, politics, all of this is such a big, hot issue with people. Is people all disagree on certain points of certain issues, yet might agree on another point. And that's really where I'm getting at here, is that it's easy to find fault in what a person thinks or believes, but realizing how much we really might relate to a person. And this is, I think, why the anonymity of the internet actually has really, this is one of the positive points of it. Like, I was talking with my mom the other day, and, she was saying the usual problems with the internet, like that you're not face-to-face with the person, and the person can sit there and say whatever they want, whether, and not have to really look you in the eye when you're saying it. And I totally agree with that. But then it just occurred to me that, on the other hand, you might relate to a person completely and not realize that it's a kid half your age, or someone twice your age, or a girl relating to a boy, or a boy relating to a girl, not knowing the sex, age, or anything about a person. I mean, because I generally don't look. A lot of my subs, when I talk, I mean, I'll find out that it's a woman, and I always thought it was a guy, or vice versa. But to me, they're just people. People are people. People have hearts that are all so different. The way that we behave and act is so different than the way we really feel. And I know that everyone's like that to a degree. That the side that you show to the world isn't the side that you want to show to the world. You want to show your good side, the side that you want to be, the person you want to be. And that's what we all yearn for. It's like this, this is what keeps religion alive and keeps wisdom alive, philosophy and love of wisdom, the idea that it brings satisfaction to know things and to explore things. So man appears to have an inherent nature to know what his world's all about. Curiosity didn't kill the cat. Curiosity created the cat. And the cat is now exploring himself and the world around him. And we're doing the same. So we have to make the most of it. And, regardless of the differences we have in opinion, the things that we disagree on, there are lots of them, Think about God, the word God. I didn't even use that for years because it was such a preposterous word. God, as if there's a man in the clouds watching over us. And even when you try to associate it as just saying, well, it's everything, well, then it fails to become God. When you say God is everything, it loses its meaning of being God, and it becomes like a pantheism or something, and then everybody tries to put a label on it. Everybody wants to know what you believe, what you think, and they want a label on it. And I just don't have labels for the things that I think. I don't have labels for what I believe. And I kind of cringe whenever somebody's like, oh, you might want to look into this belief system or that belief system, or I'm always curious to learn, but I've looked into most of these things, and anything that has a structure to me is great for people who need structure. But there are different types of people, and not everyone desires structure, and I'm one of them. And I guess that could segue into this, what I was going to make a video about earlier. I decided not to. I was going to talk about drugs in the sense of comparing psychedelics. I was reading about this microdosing experiment, and everyone's different in the way they react to psychedelics. And then I was thinking, do I want to microdose? No, I want to macrodose once in a while, rather than microdose all the time. And it got me thinking about, after reading some articles about people who had solved problems and whatnot, while taking microdosing LSD, or people who have used it for anxiety or depression, or microdosing psilocybin, which is just eating small amounts of psychedelics that don't actually get you high. But what I considered was the fact that opiates, when a person takes opiate for pain, they will take, they might take a light morphine-based opiate. They might take a little bit each day for a long period of time to help with a long-term ailment, or they may take a lot each day for a short period of time to help with a really heavy-duty ailment. There's acute and chronic pain, right? Well, anything that I understand about the pain world, physical, I always compare it directly to mental pain, in the sense that there are long-term mental anguishes that can be solved maybe by taking, let's say you have a really important event that happened in your life, taking a large psychedelic dose that helps you process that, and then just not taking any for a long time might be the best option. But for a person who has, say, a particular anxiety that's continuing, that's a brain chemistry issue, maybe taking microdoses of these psychedelics would be better. I hope I made sense there. I was trying to throw this in to say that it's just like opiates, Some people take a lot for a short period of time. Some people take a little bit over a long period of time. Some people take a little bit over a short period of time. Some people take a lot over a long period of time. And the same with psychedelics. The same with everything in life. And that humans are so different from each other. And that we all have our own perceptions, not just of life, but of what we need to get by. What we need to be happy. And for me, it's just sitting out on the back porch on a hot day like this, looking at my garden, looking at my cannabis, looking at the sky, looking at everything. It's just the little things that make me happy. But It's not always like that. So, to leave on a note, I guess I would say, because I got so far off track, to say that everybody's different. Everybody's got their own personalities, quirks, and when you find somebody that you relate to, it can be a really cool thing. But we have to remember that even when you find a personality that you like, a person's individual personality changes throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, throughout the year. Winter and summer behaviors, as well as night and morning behaviors, as well as just hour to hour. One time I might feel pretty good, the next hour I might feel a little shitty. We're all a little bipolar. We're all a little fucked up. And, that's what makes being human cool. I go back and forth on whether I feel good or bad, and sometimes I want to just say screw YouTube and not really, build any more subs or anything, not really put any effort in. Then the next day I'm like, oh no, I want to make a movement, I want to help change the world, try to do something. Then the next day I'm like, well, what do I want to do? It's just, on and on, back and forth. Just being human, being hard to just sit down and just stick with what I really want to do, But, hey, it was 11:11 there. Of course, right when I looked at it. Anyway, I wish you all luck on your journeys, and I hope you have the most fantastic of days. I really do. It's really what it's all about, It is. It's just making... If you're having a great day, that means that you know the value of a great day. That's all I could say. Take care, everybody. And namaste.